The palace walls have echoed with countless scandals, but nothing has prepared the British monarchy for the storm unleashed by Lady Colin Campbell's latest revelation. For years, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have walked a precarious tightrope between royalty and independence, carving their own narrative while casting long shadows over the House of Windsor. Yet, in one shocking disclosure, Lady Colin has ripped open a curtain that Meghan and Harry fought to keep. The result, a dark, twisting chapter that threatens not only their carefully constructed empire but also the very ties that once bound them. It began with a cryptic tease. Lady Colin, the ever-watchful chronicler of royal affairs, hinted days ago that she possessed information so explosive, so undeniable, it would redefine the Sussex story. Few took her seriously at first. The couple had weathered allegations, interviews, even a global docuseries. What could possibly shake them now? But as the details emerged, even hardened royal watchers felt the ground shift beneath. According to her bombshell account, Meghan and Harry were embroiled in a clandestine arrangement that reached far beyond the sunny, polished facade of their California. Documents, private communications, and whispered testimonies suggested the couple had engaged in secret negotiations that undermined key royal protocols, deals that, if exposed fully, could dismantle the fragile détente they had tried to maintain. Lady Colin's words were sharp, deliberate, and laced with an almost surgical precision. They presented themselves as victims, she declared in a broadcast that spread like wildfire across social media, but behind the scenes, they have been architects of their own chaotic kingdom, a kingdom built not on transparency or loyalty, but on ambition and carefully curated narratives. The response was immediate. Royal aides, usually masters of silence, scrambled behind closed doors as hashtags questioning Meghan and Harry's integrity began to trend worldwide. In California, their team reportedly went into crisis mode, delaying upcoming appearances and reviewing contracts tied to their media. One insider described the mood as frantic, like watching dominoes fall in slow motion, except these dominoes carry millions in brand equity and whatever remains of their royal. For Harry, the timing could not be worse. Already bruised by public skepticism following their Netflix docuseries and Harry's own memoir, this latest revelation cast him in an even harsher light. Sources close to the palace claim King Charles was both hurt and weary, describing a father who had long sought reconciliation now forced to face the possibility that his younger son's exile was not a tragedy but a calculated. And Meghan? Lady Colin's account painted her as the mastermind, a strategist with an eye on power and a talent for turning perception in. Whether this portrayal is fair or a villainous exaggeration remains fiercely debated, but what cannot be denied is the impact. Public sympathy has wavered, and the couple's once glittering reputation in certain circles has begun. What makes this chapter truly their darkest hour is the domino effect. Major streaming platforms reportedly question the viability of future collaborations, citing brand philanthropic partnerships, once touted as the backbone of their post-royal mission, have quietly requested reassurances or paused funding commitment. Even their carefully maintained circle of celebrity allies has shown cracks, muted statements, postponed invitations, and a noticeable cooling of once fervent support. Meanwhile, in London, Lady Colin has doubled down, releasing a detailed timeline of her findings. She claims the couple's actions were not spur of the moment but part of a broader, years-long pattern of maneuvering, leveraging their royal titles for private gains while simultaneously portraying themselves as casualties of the very system they navigate. Her revelations include alleged secret meetings with international media executives, quiet overtures to corporate partners, and an internal rift so severe that it allegedly caused tension not only between Harry and his brother William, but also within Meghan and Harry's own house. William, often painted as the stoic heir, is said to have reacted with a mixture of cold fury and resigned disappointment. He wanted to believe his brother would find a way back, one insider murmured, but this feels like the final break. Courtiers whisper that this may have been the last thread holding together any hope of familial unity, and that future royal events may see even deeper divisions. Yet amid the chaos, Meghan and Harry remain defiant. A brief statement from their spokesperson dismissed Lady Colin's claims as distorted, sensationalist, and unworthy of serious consideration. But in an era where perception often outweighs truth, such a denial may not be enough. The narrative has already taken root, and for a couple who built much of their influence on controlling that narrative, losing it is more than a setback, it is an existential threat. Observers note the chilling irony. The couple who once broke away from royal life citing a desire for freedom and authenticity now find themselves accused of being precisely what they fought against: secretive, manipulative, and entangled in backroom dealing. For critics, Lady Colin's revelations are confirmation of long-held suspicions. For supporters, they are an inconvenient but survivable storm. For the monarchy, it is another fracture in a dynasty struggling to appear modern and what happens next will determine whether this becomes a fleeting scandal or a turning point. Insiders suggest King Charles may convene a discreet council to reassess official ties to the Sussexes, including titles and patronage. William, increasingly seen as the stabilizing force of the future, must decide whether to extend a hand once more or to draw a line that cannot be uncrossed. And Meghan and Harry? They face a narrowing path, one that demands either a dramatic act of transparency to restore public trust or a strategic retreat into further Lady Colin, for her part, shows no sign of relenting. Her bomb may be only the first in a series of calculated detonations aimed at unraveling the mystique surrounding. Truth is not always kind, she said in her final remark during a televised interview, but it is always necessary. The public deserves to know who they are placing on a pedestal. The darkest hour for Meghan and Harry is not simply the exposure of secrets, it is the loss of control, the slipping grip on a story they once commanded so effort. Their empire, built on a delicate balance of fame, philanthropy, and royal allure, now trembles under the weight. Every word, every gesture in the coming weeks will be scrutinized not through the lens of glamour, but of suspense. And so, the world watches, a royal couple in free fall, a relentless commentator with more to say, and a monarchy yet again caught between scandal and survival. Whether this moment becomes their undoing or the crucible in which they reforge their legacy remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the bomb has dropped, and the echoes will not